Good morning, everyone. Welcome all of you here to our Blossom Ferry Terminal. Thank you all so much for being here. We're honored to have the Lieutenant Governor, the GM, the Secretary here, as well as the entire team. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'd like to recognize some of my colleagues. City Council President, Ward 7 City Councilor Jay Walsh. Ward 4 City Councilor Natasha Meji-Madri. Ward 3 City Councilor Coco Allensug. Ward 2 Councilor Obed Matul. I want to thank the Lynn Public Schools for their involvement in this effort. I see Deputy Superintendent Molly Cohen. Thank you for being here. And the LPS team. I think we're going to hear from some of the students later, but I want to absolutely say thank you so much to the students of Marshall Middle School. We are so proud of you. We're so excited that you can be here with us today, and we are just really excited to share this moment with you as the future of the city. So thank you so much for being here. This is a proud moment for our community. It's an important moment for the entire region as we celebrate the future of water transit and the importance that's going to play for Lynn and the surrounding area and Greater Boston's plans to address all of our goals for transit, for access to jobs and housing, for environmental considerations. I'm so grateful to the Healy-Driscoll administration and to General Manager Eng for their commitment to water transit. And you can see that really in a strong way today. And I also want to thank the team on the ground here in the city of Lynn. You'll hear later from James Cadell, the director of EDIC, who's been instrumental in making this dream come alive. I think you'll also hear from my predecessor and the current chair of the MBTA, Tom McGee, who's been such a great leader on this and so many other issues, and to all the folks doing the work that get this lot ready, that maintain it, that have allowed us to have access here to downtown through different construction projects that are starting to make this area, important area, long neglected area of our city, come alive. I want to say thank you so much for all that you do. I'm so excited for this moment in particular because it connects our future on the water with our very proud history, and is incredibly fitting for some of the famous background that you're going to hear about this decision here that connects to some of the most important moments in Lynn history and the connection of public transportation with justice. And I am so proud to introduce again for the nth time, he's always here in the city of Lynn, working with us, a great partner, General Manager Phil Eng.
Good morning, everyone. The mayor's right. We've been spending so much time here in Lynn because there's so many exciting things to do, but it might be time to take up a residence or something. I think this way it's a lot easier. But I will say the bus and the Blue Line was very easy to get here for today's event. As we're all here today to rededicate the Scudic Explorer, the Healy-Driscoll administration has been phenomenal about mass transportation. And it's not just about the buses, it's not just about the subways, not just about the trains, but it's also about water transportation. And from day one, this administration has been focused on improving all of those services. When we launched the Lynn Ferry service, we saw the robust ridership, we saw the embracing of a new mode of travel. And we knew we also had to make sure it's reliable. So at that point, not only did we lease a boat for the Lynn Ferry, we bought a second boat because we wanted to have reliability. We wanted to have the ability to maintain the fleet and still run service while we're doing it. The Scudic Explorer was that boat we bought. Over the past few years, we bought several boats. Earlier this year, we launched a naming competition for the boats we bought. And students across the Boston elementary school areas helped us rename the Harbor Gem and the Abigail Adams. And today we stand here today to rename and rededicate the Scudic Explorer. As we do that, though, with us today, we have many dignitaries here that have been truly supporters of what we do day in and day out. Chair of the Senate House Transportation Committee, Senator Brendan Crichton. Secretary of Transportation, the true partnership here with MassDOT and MBTA, Secretary Monica Tibbits-Nutt. And Lynn Mayor, who introduced me, Jared Nicholson. Many city council members and board members. State Representative Donald Wong. State Representative Sean Reed. State Rep Armini. MBTA Board Chair Tom McGee, and Director Peter Katusian. Jim Cowdell, Executive Director of Economic Development Industrial Corporation for Lynn. Our ferry partner operators, Boston Harbor City Cruises, who help us throughout as we improve water transportation. The U.S. Coast Guard. Our friends at the Thurgood Marshall Middle School and formerly the Ford Elementary School, including Elsa Marie McKendall, who submitted the winning name that we're going to reveal today. My entire MBTA team, Chief Operating Officer Ryan Caholen, Executive Commuter Rail Michael Muller, and David Perry, our Director of Ferry Services. And of course, all the crew hands that work on our boats. I saved the best for last here, Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, a true champion, true advocate, that have really given us the ability to deliver improved water transportation, mass transportation, and help drive quality of life, help support housing, help support business development, help support really just a thriving economy and making Massachusetts such a fun place to live, work, and play. And I can't thank the Governor Healy and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll enough for allowing me having the privilege of being here at the MBTA. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. So I mentioned back in April, we started the naming contest, and today we're here to rededicate the Schoodic Explorer. And I'd like to offer another round of applause for Elsa Marie McKendall again. She wrote the essay, she submitted the name, and all of her classmates that participated. It was really a fun, exciting way to re-engage not only with the communities that we support, but the youth, the future leaders of our growing and fantastic Commonwealth. So thank you again to all the students. So I've been given the honor of announcing the name, and I want to just say Elsa and her essay really came to heart when the teams were reviewing this. And the name of the new Schoodic Explorer is the Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was a civil rights leader, an abolitionist, and a social change maker that we're all proud to recognize, and his role within the Lynn community. In just a bit, Elsa will share with us why this name was significant to her. Overall, the hope is that the riders take pride in our mass transportation system, our water system, and the fact that we are renaming a boat that honors the history of Lynn. We know how personal transportation can be, and our system and our stations can be, and having a boat named after Frederick Douglass is that personal connection that will live on forever now. And it's just not scenic being on water transportation, it's rooted in the history of everything that we do here, with all the harbors and all the water around us. Using our coastal services does get people out of their cars, onto boats, onto trains, onto buses. That's our goal, to give people alternatives. So we're eager to continue to not only do things like today, but as the mayor said, we'll be back with more exciting things for Lynn and other cities as we continue to expand ferry options across our agency. Accessibility is huge. We're going to continue to upgrade infrastructure. And this is a perfect segue for me to introduce a true champion that has been instrumental to my success and the T's success, Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll.
I'm going to be real brief, folks, but I want Elsa to come up here, and I want all of your classmates who want to come right in front, because we're here for you, okay? Awesome. You guys, come on in, fill in if you want, right here, in front of all these folks. The reason I think it's really important for us to have these students who are here today is because really the investments that we make, not just in water transportation, but in transportation in general, are really about support for the next generation. They are generational investments that will make a big difference, not in just how we get around, but on the quality of life that we enjoy in Lynn, in the North Shore, in the Commonwealth. And that's why we're so grateful to be here today with students who can actually understand the connection between not just a naming ceremony, but a boat, a road, a train, a rail system that can deliver for them wherever they need to go, whether that's school or work or job or fun. That's why we do this work. And we couldn't have anybody better leading it at the T than General Manager Phil Eng. It's our honor to have him here. I'm so grateful that he introduced me and the work that he's doing. From day one, we said we wanted to invest more in water transportation. And honestly, the person we put on it was not secretary at the time, but it was Monica Tibbits-Nutt, who was undersecretary. Because she is, as an urban planner, as someone who has been really involved and engaged around how people get around, understood the value of this. And that's how we started with the first pilot. It got set up in like 90 days. So I want to recognize Secretary Monica Tibbits-Nutt for her ingenuity getting the pilot program started. I know you're way back there now. Now everybody's way behind there, but we also obviously have had a long line of supporters in Lynn, starting out with former Senator Tom McGee. Lots of time we spent together talking about how do we use water transportation when I was the mayor in Salem, and we had a ferry, and how do we figure this out. We had stops in Lynn at one point. Like, we tried a lot of different things because we knew it could work and we knew it was possible. So I want to thank not only Senator McGee, but former Senator McGee, but Senator Crichton, and the entire delegation in Lynn. This is, I think, my third or fourth time with you all in the last 4 or 5 days. The city of Lynn and the North Shore, and that includes Representative Armini, Representative Reed. Representative Armini lives in Marblehead, but represents a portion of Lynn. Like, we are all over it. Then this is the strong North Shore delegation that really recognizes the investments that we need. You know, those of us in the North Shore, we pay a toll to go into Boston generally, if you know the different ways that you go. That's why having investments in transportation, whether it's this ferry or other ways to make sure we can move around, are really, really critical. And we couldn't have a better delegation than this legislative delegation, including Representative Wong. Lynn's got lots of folks looking out for them, and really grateful to be here with all of you. And the mayor, like once a mayor, always a mayor, I still look through much of the work that we're doing through the lens of a local official. And Mayor Nicholson, like, tops when it comes to understanding what we need to do and then partnering with the state. Our job, and both Governor Healy and I feel strongly, is let's uplift and empower what's happening locally. Because when we have strong cities, we'll have a strong Commonwealth. But just quickly on water transportation. Boston is a capital city. And if you look at capital cities on the coast, most of them have robust water transportation. You can go to New York. You can take a ferry from a whole array of different places. There are no potholes in the harbor. It is a great way to get to work, to go in to visit, to go to school. And we've got to figure out how to actually have a network. And that's exactly what we're doing. You know, Salem was a one-off ferry that the city bought, and it works because we have a lot of tourists. I was glad to be a part of it and help lead it. It's amazing. 90,000 people a day, or 90,000 people a year back and forth using that ferry service. And the T ran a service from Hingham and Hull, and it was wonderful for those folks. But it was always an afterthought, to be honest, in the old T. We had rail, we had buses, we had our hands full with all of that. Now we have a team at the T that is focused on dedicated in growing not just one-off ferry system, but a water transportation network, which is what you need. So earlier this year, we were in East Boston, recognizing the investments we're making for more water transportation there. To think you could go in East Boston and you can see the city of Boston, but you didn't have robust water transportation service. Doesn't make any sense, right? We're working in Quincy, another coastal city that needed port infrastructure. And it's not just the MBTA, it's our Department of Environmental Protection. It is the Seaport Council, which I happen to chair as Lieutenant Governor, that is making investments, not just in boats, but in upgrades. This entire space that we're on was primarily funded with the Seaport Council. And it's all in service to recognizing how we move people around, how we offer quality of life, and how we ensure that we just don't have one way to get where we're going. And that's, frankly, the sort of difference that we're trying to make, not only in people's lives, but in growth patterns and development. And that only happens when we have support. So I wanted to say congratulations to the city of Lynn and the community members who take this service. That pilot program was a huge success. People really appreciated being able to get between Lynn and Boston on a boat, because there is no better way to get into Boston than on a boat, and it's working. And so this is really a celebration for Lynn, for the community, and for the Commonwealth, and for our continued investments, not just in transportation, but in a higher quality of life that gets people where they want to go. So as we say on a waterfront celebration, coming from Salem, a historic seaport, you not say hooray, you say huzzah. So can you guys help me when I say 1, 2, 3, huzzah? Everyone got that?
Yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Huzzah! All right, congratulations, everyone. And I'm going to introduce, next up, Senator Brendan Creighton.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Honor to be here. I just want to first echo all of the thanks that have been said by the previous speakers. Obviously, there's been a team effort for quite some time. It's so great to stand here with so many Lynn students as well. I started at the State House 20 years ago, working for my predecessor, Tom McGee. And I remember early on, Tom talking about the ferry and talking to the community about the ferry, and everyone really thought he was a little out there on it and didn't quite see the vision. I might have asked myself what I was getting into. The guy every day was talking about a ferry. This is before water transportation was really looked at as a potential solution to help our public transportation issues. And it took a long time, but over the course of a decade, you fought, Tom, and you fought. We were able to get that initial service. You established the terminal, working with Jim Cowdell and the city of Lynn. And look where we are today. We have an administration, the Haley Driscoll administration, that came in here with no ferry service. It had been, the previous administration had cut it. One of our first calls a delegation made was to the Haley Driscoll administration, to Secretary Tibbits-Nutt, to ask for the restoration of ferry service. And we have asked many, many, many times, but they did not hesitate. They seized the moment, looking to help mitigate some of the traffic caused by the Sumner Tunnel. But you could tell that there was a longer-term vision as they began to make investments. The hiring of Phil Eng and his commitment here as well. The purchasing of boats, excuse me. And no purchasing of votes. Geez, I'm gonna have a target on me for that one. That was unscripted. So it's an honor to be here. And I think back, standing with the students here, to my time in the Lynn Public Schools, one of the first things you learn about in our great history here in the city of Lynn is about Frederick Douglass. And we are so proud to have him as our most distinguished, most successful resident of the city of Lynn. For everyone that's read the narrative, his first autobiography, you see on that last page, Frederick Douglass, Lynn, Massachusetts. And we are so proud of our city. We have parks named after Frederick Douglass, a bandstand named after Frederick Douglass, our early college named after Frederick Douglass. But now we have a vessel that's not just here located in Lynn, but that everyone that's going to travel, everyone that sees this boat in Boston is going to recognize our history in Lynn and our connection with one of the great leaders in the history of the world, really. So Elsa, and to all of your classmates, thank you so much for participating in this, for honoring Frederick Douglass, for celebrating Lynn's history, and for you being a part of history as well. I would like to now introduce our Secretary of Transportation, Monica Tibbits-Nutt.
Thank you, Senator. And I really want to take this opportunity to once again, like many of the previous speakers, thank all of this legislative power that we had to make this happen. When I first came in, sitting down with Lieutenant Governor and the governor and really talking about what my vision was for transportation, and I've said this my entire career, transportation is actually incredibly simple. People need access and people need options. The other really big thing that was very clear for this administration was regional equity. So when working with this delegation, understanding the needs of the residents of Lynn, it made it very, very easy to understand what we needed to do. Working with the general manager, we were able to get these boats, get the service running, and actually show the North Shore how much this administration cares about them. When we talk about Frederick Douglass, many of us learned about him in school. And for me and my ancestors, knowing that he had dedicated his entire life to creating access and options for those who came over here and didn't have those options. So when hearing what Elsa did and hearing what these students did, it shows that not only is his legacy continuing to live on, but it also shows that the future generation is going to take care of our communities even better than we've been able to. So I just want to thank everyone for coming here today. I cannot wait to get on this boat, but I really do want to thank Elsa and the rest of her classmates that have shown how bright our future is going to be. Thank you. And now I have the honor to introduce someone who has been a colleague of mine for many years, has served in numerous roles, but even more importantly, never gave up fighting for this ferry service for the city, Chairman Tom McGee.
Thank you very much, Secretary, and you've heard some really great words from so many great leaders here, and it's great to be with our current and growing and future leaders here. I'm so happy to be with all of them. I see someone in the back that is here today, and Ted Smith is here, and I just want to give a quick idea on where my idea or where our idea came together. About 25 years ago, we were on a ferry. Ted invited me to a ferry ride from New London to Oak Bluffs, a 2-hour ride instead of a 6 or 7 or 8 hour travel journey. And on the way back from there to Lynn, we started get talking, and it's like, why not a ferry from Lynn to Boston? And so Ted, you were there from the beginning, at least from my perspective, of growing that vision and having that ride, and then looking at what was a broken down parking lot here. I see Jay Walsh, who's been around a long time with his family, a little bit of a bait shack here, and really nothing much happening down in this location. And that was the impetus for the idea. And my children were 2 then, and as a couple of speakers have said, I think a few people thought I was pretty crazy. Well, I may be crazy, but I wasn't crazy about this idea. And why am I bringing that up? Because the key is what vision do you have to make things better? And what vision do all of you have to make our lives better? You have a vision, and you need to build on it, and you can't lose sight of the goal line, even if it's 25 years away. And I think the naming as well, a tremendous name. To think about Frederick Douglass when he came to Lynn, had been a slave, had nothing but himself and his wife to come here to the city. Wrote his autobiography here, but he had a vision for a better life for everyone. He knew that the life that people were living in his age, that it could be better for himself and for his peers and for all of us. And so he had that vision, and he worked through his life to build on that vision, to make everyone's life better, and he succeeded. And his history is as we know, is pretty tremendous, and to have the boat named after him and picking him is something special. So I guess the message here today is don't lose sight of a vision for a better day tomorrow, and we can all make a difference together. So there's too many people to name, and they're all here, and Jim Cardell and the delegation and former delegations. But I just want to say to my staff, who day in and day out listened to my crazy idea and rolled their eyes at me for years. For my wife, yep, I know, ferry to Lynn to Boston, okay, I get it. But they were there with me to help us all together. And everyone that's here and everyone that had the idea that we can make things better. And to have an administration with Governor Healy's leadership, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, to embrace it immediately and to recognize that transportation is the key to our future, and to really not just talk about it, but to take action to make sure that transportation, whether being strong support for ferry, increasing the ferry service we have, making sure the MBTA is the #1 transit system in the country, making sure that transportation is top of the list. They have been tremendous leaders, and they're making a huge difference for a better future. So thanks for asking me to speak. I know I spoke a little bit too long, but very exciting day for us, for the city of Lynn, but more importantly for the Commonwealth. And we've got our leaders here to make sure that those vision for a better future will continue. Great to have you all here today. Thank you. And next on the list, who I'd like to introduce and worked very closely as part of the Director of Economic Development, EDIC in Lynn. This is EDIC's land. The parking lots are there, not only their vision, but with their support and the Seaport Council's dollars. A great friend, a great leader, and someone who really has embraced the opportunity for this kind of service in the city of Lynn, Jim Cardell. Jim, come on.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Before I begin, I would like to recognize City Council at Large Nicole McLean. Thank you, Nicole, for being here. Go ahead, we can clap. This is really a special day. This is what makes my job so wonderful. If I could take everybody back in time to 2006, we would be standing here, now I'm 6'1", with weeds taller than me. And the city transferred the land to EDIC for $1, and I don't know if I ever paid that $1, but we became the landowner of this land. And October 6, 2006, I started at EDIC. Ted Smith, who's on the board, came to me October 6th into the office and said, we need a ferry. That was the first person. I said, okay, I'll look into it. The next day, October 7th, former Mayor McGee came into my office and said, we need a ferry. I said, okay. October 8th, Jay Walsh called me up saying, we need a ferry. I came quickly around to the conclusion that we needed a ferry here in the city of Lynn. And so the city had transferred this land. It was contaminated land. It was barren. Jay, you remember the old bait house that's over here by the Chevy? And we had a vision, right? And so we went to Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, who really provided the roadmap to the funding. And when you look at the funding that took place, just about $8 million, city, state, EDIC funds, came into taking this barren, contaminated lot of land, right? And, by the way, EDIC bought the next lot of land over here. And look at it today, right? We had that vision of a commuter ferry, and yes, Tommy, I said you were completely crazy back then. But he wasn't. When you think about how many cars are on the road today, and I don't know if you've noticed that, you can take a 30-minute ride, a 32-minute ride, and be in Boston with no traffic. We had this summer, the vessel holds 149 people. We had 3 days in a row where it was full capacity. And so those critics who said that a ferry wouldn't work in Lynn, I am so proud to say you were dead wrong. It definitely works in the city of Lynn. So on behalf, thank you. And I will be showing a different vision now, right? So the ferry, we have proven beyond a doubt that it works. Over here in that adjacent land that we own, we would love to see a building there, right? The first floor tied into the commuter ferry. The second floor, I would love to see a beautiful restaurant. We want people to come to this area, have a great experience. We want people not only to go from Lynn to Boston, we want people from Boston to come here to Lynn. So hopefully that'll be the next ribbon cutting that we're talking about. And with that, I talked too long. I would like to introduce the star of the show today. Elsa Marie McKendall, 6th grader now at Thurgood Marshall. We are so proud of you and the Lynn School Department for allowing the contest to happen. So I would like to ask, if you don't mind, to say a few words. Do you mind?
Thank you. As an American child, I'm honored that Frederick Douglass was picked. He fought for the freedom and rights of African Americans and women. Because of this, he is my hero, and the reason I'm proud, the ferry will be named in honor of his legacy. I hope you have a great day, and I'm excited to celebrate this new name.
Well, thank you, Elsa. I think with that, we're ready to go to the dedication ceremony. We're all going to walk towards the ferry ramp, and we'll move forward with the renaming.
So, ladies and gentlemen, throughout maritime history, the name of a vessel has carried great importance. It reflects the ship's mission, its identity, and the people it serves. When the name changes, mariners observe a formal process, retiring the old name with respect and welcoming the new one with intention. Today's ceremony continues that long-standing tradition. We are gathered here to honor the past and to respectfully retire the name Schoodic Explorer, which has served faithfully and is now ready to rest. Prior to serving the Lynn Ferry route, this vessel operated along the coast of Maine as a water taxi and tender, carrying passengers between cruise ships, connecting Lynn to Boston now with its new mission. It is fitting that the vessel receives a new name to reflect both its service and the community it now carries. To mark this moment, Chairman McGee will place a token bearing the vessel's old name into the harbor, down to the ocean's deep, bidding farewell to the identity it once carried and clearing the way for the new name it will now proudly hold. Thank you, Chairman McGee. We offer thanks to the vessel's past and affirm its future under a new name, the Frederick Douglass. It is fitting that a vessel carrying people to work, to school, and to the community each day will now carry his name. To mark the transition to a new role, reaffirming its future purpose in the work ahead, Chairman McGee will now pour champagne into the ocean from east to west. Thank you, Chairman. As we rename the vessel, the Frederick Douglass, we also affirm our hopes for safe passage, meaningful journeys, and lasting purpose. Secretary Tibbits-Nutt will now pour champagne along the bow from west to east to mark the vessel's new direction and honor the enduring legacy of Frederick Douglass. His courage, conviction, and unwavering pursuit of freedom. May these same values guide the vessel's service to the public. Thank you, Secretary. To honor the journey ahead, we will turn to each point of navigation and offer a blessing, while General Manager Eng pours champagne into the ocean's deep to mark our intentions. I invite you all to face north, south, east, and west, along with us, as a show of shared intention. We're going to start with north. We turn to the north for the spirit of clarity and wisdom and offer this blessing. We turn to the west for the spirit of transformation and journey and offer this blessing. We turn to the east for the spirit of hope and renewal and offer this blessing. And finally, we turn to the south. That one's tricky. But we turn to the south for the spirit of strength and warmth and offer this blessing. Thank you, General Manager. Everyone passed their north, south, east, and west. Now that the renaming process has been completed, Elsa and other students from the Thurgood Marshall Middle School will proudly and publicly display the name on the hull of this vessel for the first time.
All right, on three. What are we going to say, kids? Do you remember? All right, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, for christening the vessel by breaking a bottle against the bow. This gesture symbolizes good fortune and safe travels for every journey ahead. And lastly, the last part of the renaming process is to unveil the vessel's new name to the public for the first time. With that, please welcome Elsa and other students from the Thurgood Marshall Middle School to proudly and publicly display the name on the hull for the very first time. Well done, Elsa. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the MBTA's newest vessel, the Frederick Douglass into service.